So I took my very first listing after 2 weeks at 1.15 million.
In a market, the average sales price is about 250.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things about the real estate world that you're not expecting. It was a shock to me too. I will say that right out the gate, it was a shock to me.
What real estate school does is it prepares you to pass the test, but it doesn't prepare you for how to grow your business.
Yeah, that was the hardest part for sure.
I'm a firm believer that your environment has to support your goals. A lot of people that are actually in the business don't realize the difference of what a team is and versus working at a broker. So here we are, hanging out the office today. Not between the ferns.
No, we're not.
Just we're around the fake tree. But one of these days we'll class it up and get some ferns, and then we'll be like that.
Griffin between.
Griffin behind the ferns.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot more fun. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Kelsie. I have been with Griffin for 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
It has been a crazy process getting started for sure. I think there's a lot of things about the real estate world that you're not expecting, but I have felt so at home. I mean, it has been a learning experience for sure, but I mean, getting started was not nearly as daunting as I thought it would be once I started here. I mean, there's just so much support. So I've been having a great time getting started and learning.
Well, we always joke and say that, which I mean, it's really true, but for those of us that went to real estate school back in when we had rotary phones and way back in the day,
In the 18th century.
I don't think they had phones back then. But for us that we went to real estate school several years ago, even longer than that, we forget that what real estate school does is it prepares you to pass the test.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you regurgitate the information.
Very true.
But it doesn't prepare you for how to grow your business. Therefore, really necessarily selecting the right environment that's going to support whatever your goals are.
No, that was the hardest part for sure.
Well, that was one of the things that when we first sat down and chatted that we talked about was I'm a firm believer that your environment has to support your goals.
Mm-hmm.
If you take somebody that's uber talented, put them in an environment that doesn't support their goals, it's not supportive of them, that they're not going to grow in, that's just like having a beautiful plant and you put it into crappy soil, what's going to happen? Wither up and die. Or you could take a baby plant that's not all big and beautiful yet, but it's got potential, and put it in fertile soil and it's going to grow.
Very true. Absolutely.
So, but it's one of those major things that it does make a huge difference that a lot of people don't really realize. So 2 weeks in, and we're two weeks in, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
But then, we've done a call night, we've gone through some of the boot camp material, leads are flowing. Tell us about kind of what happened yesterday, because I heard through the grapevine that 2 weeks in, and for anybody that's not in real estate, usually what we see is when somebody comes into real estate, it's going to take anywhere between honestly 6 to 9 months before you start generating any business. So you have to be able to be prepared to be able to weather that storm.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I believe you took a listing, didn't you?
I did take a listing. I took a listing for, should I say the amount?
Yeah, I'm going to say
Okay. So I took my very first listing after 2 weeks at 1.15 million.
$1.15 million in a market that the average sales price is about $250.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. I mean, just the act of taking a listing 2 weeks into the business is massive. And then you sit back and look at your funnel that you've gotten only just really 2 weeks in. You have some buyer opportunities and other opportunities that you're nurturing already, building that book of business.
Mm-hmm. I do. It was a shock to me too. I will say that right out the gate. It was a shock to me.
Well, I warned you. I said it's going to be like a fire hydrant. Just hold on. But what happens is, and you'll notice this too from people that you know from real estate school or other people you see come into business, they get paralyzed. They have paralysis of, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, versus just keeping it focused on those simple, daily, consistent activities.
Well, I felt that too. I felt the stress of being like, oh my gosh, there's so much that I don't know. I mean, realistically, I felt like, oh, I don't know anything. I feel like I'm being kind of thrown into this crazy world that I know nothing about because, like we said before, real estate school, it's not going to prepare you for everything all at once, trying to get used to the market and trying to get used to just the environment of being in the real estate game is crazy. So, I mean, I did not expect to feel like secure, I guess, feel maybe not fully confident yet, not 100% yet, but
I'm
with
still working on
time.
that.
Yeah, with time, maybe. But I feel like I would not be as kind of, like I said, secure. I wouldn't feel as secure or like there are possibilities for me if I hadn't been here. You know, I mean, it's been amazing to just have people around to encourage you and nurture you through the process, even though it's only been 2 weeks. It's been a great experience so far. So,
So you bring up a good point. You know, with a team versus a normal brokerage, and a lot of people, especially when they get into the business, heck, a lot of people that are actually in the business don't realize the difference of what a team is, and versus working at a brokerage. But when you were searching around for your home, what was it that stood out to you? Like, okay, I recognize that this is why these are my people, and that this is the best environment for me to set me up for success.
I think what really did it for me, I mean, hearing in passing about how this was going to be a different experience, it's a different setup, it's a different environment. Just hearing that through the grapevine and through other people that had interviewed here or, had experience in here, had sold or bought through Griffin, that was enough to get me interested. It wasn't enough for me to be like, that's where I'm going to go for sure. But after coming to the team meeting, actually, I reached out to Jim and he was like, I think you should probably come to a team meeting and just see what it's like before you decide that this is where you want to go. So I came to the team meeting and it is high energy. I mean, it was so high energy that I almost was in awe, but that was what really had that information that they were sharing stick with me. It was the fact that it's not just sitting here and listening to a buyer's consultation or just listening in on something that you guys are doing, was actually learning what it was all about. I think that's what really did it for me, was feeling the energy and the support that everybody gets each other, not just Jim, but the agents as well. I mean, everybody's constantly working to help each other. I think that's what really did it for me.
Well, and our team meetings, I joke with people a lot. I say, our team meetings are like Wolf of Wall Street, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, and Jesus all had a baby.
That is so true.
Because it's very high energy, fast paced, it's motivational, direct to the point, and you're going to be challenged.
Yes.
You're going to be challenged even personally in addition to professionally. Because if we don't challenge ourselves personally to continue to grow and to be what our full potential is, then even on the personal side, it's going to impact our business. And the same thing, if we're growing in business but not on the personal side, it's going to impact our personal life. So making sure that we're making that impact in people's lives as we, as we have every single interaction, whether it's a team meeting or it's a team training or, a shadowing opportunity, or even just sitting in the office and, doing your lead gen and lead follow-up. It's like, what can we do today to continue to maximize the energy and maximize that impact? And it does, I always thought it made a difference, even though we are a little crazy at times.
Definitely
A little crazy.
Just a little, just a tiny bit. No, I feel that what you're saying is very true. Just from my experience as a new agent, I mean, last week was really hard. That was my real first week, and trying to get in there did feel very daunting at first. But this week, I really just told myself, stop feeling insecure. Listen to what everybody's saying. Just get in there and do it, and good things will come. You put in the work and you receive the outcome. And so this week, after I really started getting in there, getting in contact with people, I mean, I felt already significantly more confident, and significantly more interaction has come with that. I've had a lot more leads actually get in contact with me. I've had a lot more success as far as making the appointments, getting the contracts together. I mean, I really realized, especially after I had that time to sit down and really, really get started, you were very right. He told me, if you do it, it will happen. I mean, you put in the work and you will see the outcome. And
It's pretty simple.
It is. I thought he was lying. I did think he was lying. I was like, okay, no way.
Well, in a lot of places they talk and they say, especially as a new agent. So maybe somebody watching this is thinking about going to real estate school or currently in real estate school, or they are still technically a new agent. When they're going around, they're meeting with people, and people are like, hey, well, we have training, or we have lead opportunities. I always say, let's look behind the curtain. Let's see what that is. And that was one of the things that we did when we first met. I said, here, look, let me show you what our database looks like. Let me show you our, almost 3,000 past clients. Let me show you that we've got, 500, 600, 700 opportunities a month coming in. And that's what feeds the machine from all of our marketing, that feeds that to be able to create the opportunity where you don't have to sit back and say, okay, week one, who am I going to call? Because there's people to be able to reach out to. Or in the trainings, they're going to, it's a lot of places say, well, we have trainings. So go, I always say, challenge yourself and challenge the people that you're interviewing with. Go to those trainings and see what the energy is. Is it like going to a funeral? Because some trainings are like a funeral. I mean, we've had a couple of those as well. But then if they're saying, in order to grow your business, you need to, go door knocking. And here's how you go door knocking. And they give you basic fundamentals, but they don't really give you the applicable things to do to go take action.
That's very true.
And just that now you're like, I'm gonna go knock on doors, but what do I do? How to establish a neighborhood? Or I'm going to call people that are in my sphere. How am I gonna do that? What am I gonna say? Because they're not teaching the applicable stuff that's relevant for you right now where you're at. Because if you can get in and have the activities and have somebody there to be able to help, mentor and guide you through that beginning part, and even as your business continues to grow, then opportunities are endless.
Yes, that's very true. I think this is definitely a place specifically for people who enjoy that high energy, because it's not just the high energy, it's the education and the energy together, and I think, like you had said before, when we had first met, it takes a certain type of person to really thrive in this environment, but that person is going to thrive so much faster, honestly, so much faster if they're in the right environment.
Yeah.
So,
well, I tend to say sometimes, one of my mentors rather said, Jim, there's times in life that you need to have thoughts, not words. And I have a thought that I'm going to put into words now where I'm like, we aren't made for everybody. Mm-hmm. Because you can bring somebody in that they might be a great person. They come into our environment and, their perception is that, this is high pressure, high stakes, everybody's crazy. And it's just not built for them because they can't run at the pace that we're running at. And it's not that we are going out to try to be, the biggest and baddest. We kind of are, but that's not the focus. It's saying, we want to make a difference in our community. We want to make a difference for our clients. We want to make a difference for our team members. And in order to do that, it's going to require effort and energy and time, resources and finances. So if we need all those things, how do we get more of those things that are the most important to us to be able to facilitate that? And there's a lot on the line.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. I felt that for sure. It's exactly what I expected, but also not at all what I expected.
So tell me, what do you want to be able to accomplish? I mean, we're a couple weeks in now, and we're just getting started for the year. What do you want to see yourself accomplish your first full year in real estate?
That's a very open-ended question. I think for me personally, and I don't know if this is everybody, I mean, I don't have a set goal. All I want is to be able to put in the amount of effort and then receive that amount of outcome, So I think my goal is more of a personal goal than anything, more so focused on, I want to see myself get better and better every day. I want to see myself becoming more confident every day, being more dedicated every day. And I think that whatever is an outcome of that, that's what I want to achieve. It's more about the journey for me and, really applying myself.
Yeah.
Because like we were just saying, I mean, I've already seen that with the effort comes the outcome. So I'm like, as long as I'm proud of what I'm doing and happy with what I'm putting out, I think whatever is a product of that, I'll be happy with. Yeah.
Well, and I say probably a word that's one of the words that is part of our mission statement that would kind of sum up exactly what you said, mm-hmm. is growth.
Yes, that's the word.
Wanting to grow and to grow in multiple aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. Well, I am super proud of you, and you've already come in, you've embraced everything that we're doing, and are hitting the ground running. It's going to be really exciting to see if we were to come back here, not around the fake tree, maybe
the
ferns by then, but you're to come back in here a couple months from now and be able to look back and watch this video and say, wow, how much you've progressed and grown
Yeah.
since that point until now. And then to do another 6 months, say, oh my goodness, look at this growth. Because it is what you nailed it on the head. It is so reciprocal in this industry.
Yeah.
If you want to make a difference in people's lives and you want to put forth the effort, and not just want to, but you take the action to put forth the effort, and you really have that passion and drive to do it and the follow through, even when it's difficult, then the law of reciprocity says it's going to naturally come back to you.
Yes.
And it might not necessarily come back the way that you expect it to, but you'll probably see growth in other areas of your life as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Heck yeah.
Growth is the word. Can we put it in right here?
It was,
Growth.
it's like that. The more you know.
The more you